Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, this is the newest Marvel movie to come out, and it's been pretty anticipated for a while now to finally see these two characters, Deadpool and Wolverine, team up together and, fight each other, but team up together, which they have technically, if we want to count X-Men Origins Wolverine, been in the same movie, but we don't mean it like that because of how Deadpool was not Deadpool in that movie, but we don't need to talk about that. But here, how this came to be is actually really cool because ever since Disney bought Fox, there were a lot of questions on what would happen with those Marvel properties that were over at 20th Century Fox, one of them being Deadpool, since he had a coherent, currently running series. And as we see, they pretty much kept it intact with his main cast from his movies in this movie. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds is back. They kept the R rating, and you have a lot of the fourth wall breaking fun that we know and love with Deadpool. So the main plot with the movie is it was confirmed at the end of Logan what happened with that Wolverine. It was apparently in the same timeline as this Deadpool, and when that Wolverine ended up dying, it started to end the life cycle of his world, and so he is recruited by the TVA to basically join the current Earth timeline, the current 616 Marvel that we know from the MCU, but his entire friends and planet and universe will be destroyed. He basically says screw that, and he goes on a quest to find Wolverine, and there's a whole bunch of shenanigans between them. There's another bad guy, different versions of characters we know and love and hate, and it's just a bunch of fun, crazy multiverse, different universes, and it's just a lot to unpack. And it was a lot of fun. There was, right from the opening credits with the song sequence that Deadpool does, is a lot of fun. There's some good action set pieces, some pretty fun banter between, obviously, Wolverine and Deadpool. Hugh Jackman being back once again, I thought was just amazing. I didn't really think he was going to come back because of how Logan ended was so satisfying, and it was a good conclusion to his character. And one of the complaints is saying how it kind of undoes that, but when you go into it, it's not the same character that we know and love of that Wolverine, which could be considered a cop-out, but if this is a way to see him keep going and to still be in this universe, I mean, it's a small price to pay, but I can understand that being a critique from some people, but I'm personally okay with it if it's handled right, and I thought how they handled it here was alright, because there were, that Wolverine that we watched and all, it's different, kind of like what they did with Loki, how the Loki we know from, the show and all, which I thought was fantastic, his characterization and stuff in the show. But we still had a good, we still felt the stakes involved when that Loki we knew, with all the development from Thor the Dark World and all so forth, what happened there. So I was personally, I'm able to differentiate them and see them as technically different characters, because they really are different beings of the same character. They go through different stuff, they have different things happen to them, and so I kind of feel that with this Wolverine, so I was personally fine with it. But with all that, there was a lot of good fun Easter eggs here. It felt like more of a send-off, not just really to the X-Men version of Fox, because there was really there was some nods and references, but in terms of people who show up, because as you know, with these type of movies like Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, when it fits in that type of category with different universes, multiverses, etc., there's going to be some fun cameos. And the cameos that they got in this movie were a lot of fun, and they were really kind of a nod to the considered bad X-Men movies, like the early Fantastic Four ones and Elektra, and even unmade movies that fans knew about for a long time, like Channing Tatum being Gambit. That was really cool that he was able to portray that and come back into this role. And I wonder if we'll ever get to see him or any of these characters come back, like Wesley Snipes being back as Blade, which was really awesome to see. Jennifer Garner, as Elektra, and even a good cameo by Chris Evans, who originally, before being Captain America, was the Human Torch. So I thought a bunch of the cameos were really fun, And even the villain, who's like a girl version of Professor X, she was crazy and a lot of fun. She did a solid job. And you saw some other cameos of like the original Sabretooth from the original X-Men movies, that Toad guy from the first X-Men. Like, you had some fun cameos, the Juggernaut. So there was some fun stuff, but it felt like they were more trying to right the wrongs and have a good send-off for the bad movies, I'd say, because, you know, the Juggernaut is from one of the worst X-Men movies by many, Last Stand. A lot of people consider that one of the worst. And having this Wolverine and Deadpool team up, which is supposed to right the wrongs of X-Men Origins Wolverine, Elektra being back, having Blade have a good send-off because Blade 3 wasn't regarded well, Chris Evans, you know, doing that cameo for his Human Torch from the bad Fantastic Four movies. I personally think they're fun and guilty pleasures. I don't hate them, but a lot of people do. So it kind of hits different when you have these what's considered bad movies, bringing some people and references from those bad movies into a way better movie here and giving them kind of that send-off. And there's even a pretty nice moment with the X-23, the little girl from Logan. She had some moments with this Wolverine, and seeing her come back as well was really cool. There was just some fun moments there that I really appreciated. Of course, seeing the cast of characters from Deadpool 1 and 2, like the taxi cab driver, his girlfriend Vanessa, and, you know, Colossus, and, you know, the characters there, like Peter, Blind Owl, like having them all come back as well and have a fun role, like not as big, but like a small role to like show like, hey, it's still the Deadpool we know and love. And it looks like things will be taken care of here because Ryan Reynolds seems to be 100% involved in here. I even saw, I think he was a part of the writing process. So again, this movie was a ton of fun. There were some fun references. The story was pretty solid, but the story doesn't have to be magnificent and great because it did what it needed to do. It gave me a great time at the theater, and it was a lot of laugh out loud moments. The effects were good. There were some good references and nods to previous stuff, and I'm real excited to see where this would be going forward. And also, it kind of felt like it was a good tie-in because obviously the TVA is integral to this story and movie, so it felt rewarding watching the Loki show and referencing, hey, I know this organization, hey, I know that person. So that was, again, really satisfying since I watched the Loki show. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm just rambling on now, so here are my thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. Again, thank you all so much for watching. It means a lot to me. And did you get a chance to see this movie, and what did you think of it? Please let me know down below in the comment section. And if you want to hit the bell as well to get notified when I upload, I appreciate it. And I'll catch you all later. Bye, bye, bye.